Looks like we found a game. Srochan Kotu from Canada. I wonder how that's to be pronounced. Okay, well, let's try knight f6. See what, okay, maybe we get a Nimzo here. Yeah, we get a Nimzo. Cool. And he kicks right away. This could be the Saemisch variation. What do I play here? I think C5 is a move here too. If he pushes, I'll take. He takes. Then I could play D6 to keep the pawn from coming forward. He does have his queen defending the pawn, so I can't just take it. And now I can play knight to C6 here. Because no, I can't take the pawn if it comes forward. And if he takes here and gives me these, it gives white the tripled pawns, which are not that great. They can't be that great, can they? So I'm just wondering, do I want to go for b6 and bishop a6 and put pressure on this pawn? You know, I don't usually like that way of playing because it seems like white is playing for this kingside attack anyway, and I should really be prepared to meet that. So this way I can play the e4 move, and that opens up the bishop on this diagonal. So I didn't waste time trying to develop the bishop out here and putting pressure on the c pawn, which in the overall scheme of things is not that important anyway. What's more important, I think, is to keep this blocked up and prevent him from getting that that kingside attack going with the bishop. Now, I think I need to take with the pawn. If I take with the knight, I'll just throw in f4 at some point and harass the knight. So let's take with the pawn. Keep those pawns in the center. Now the queen. Does it want to go to e7 or c7? I guess keeping with the kingside theme here, we'll go to e7 and castle. So now I'm prepared to put a rook on the d file. But I think I should develop the bishop first. So bishop g4 and the a rook. Bring the a rook over to d8. And at some point I'll play b6 to shore up my queenside pawn structure. Just play it at a moment when this knight being loose is not going to be an issue. Yeah, I could play bishop to e6 and put some pressure on that pawn. You know, maybe that is worthwhile at this point if I've got his attack shut down. Notice that the c-pawn controls the d4 square, so I can't play knight d4, which might otherwise be kind of an attractive move. He can play knight to d5, supported by those two pawns, but it takes him a long time to get there. Let's see, he'd have to make 3 moves. And how would he get there? From what square could he get to here? It would be one of these dark squares. So probably he needs to get to e3. So knight d2 to f1 to e3 to d5, and that would get there. And yeah, it seems like the most likely route. Okay, oh, he played a bishop move, and I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so should I develop the bishop to g4 or to e3? e6, rather. Let's go here. I'm really not sure what's better. Yes, I took a minute and a half on that move. That probably wasn't necessary. Okay, let's put my rook on the d file and try not to fall asleep during the rest of the game. How much pressure can I get on the e-pawn? Is it defended at all? It's only defended by the queen. I would have to maneuver this knight around. Let's see, maybe pressure on the a-pawn is an idea too. Okay, he's rerouting his bishop. He's trying to find a use for it. Not a bad idea. Here, let's let's take that square away from the bishop. Here's a way to put pressure on the e-pawn. Bishop to h5 and to g6 puts pressure on that pawn. Might be nice. Might be handy. Okay, so he is attacking my c-pawn, so let's defend it securely. Now my knight is loose, but he can't immediately attack it. And I do want to come around like this anyway, so this is all okay. And he's going to go for f4. That's the way to kind of break open this position. So let's drop back and attack the e-pawn. Oh, he's just going to defend it with f3. I didn't expect that. So now he's weak on the dark squares here, isn't he? Not that weak. I mean, he has a bishop to protect him. I can play knight to h4, h5, knight h5, threatening knight g3, and maybe causing some trouble there. Plus his knight, where is it going? His knight is going to go to g4, I guess. I wonder if I could consider playing f5, break in the center myself. f5, is it threatening to take? Not right away. So he dropped his bishop back there. So that gave up the f4 square. I could play knight f4. Pawn to f5, pawn takes, bishop takes, and the queen has to move. And then knight f5, and knight f4 is looking at some interesting squares. Yeah, I think opening this up is going to benefit me. Let's see where his queen ends up. Oh, the queen ran over to the queen side. Hits the loose knight. Yeah, I did mention that loose knight. Okay, what's the best way to deal with that? I would like to just move the knight. And it's actually at a moment where I don't have a great square. I could go to a5. I don't like it that much. How about if I just go here, defend it, and bring the knight around this way. Knight to e7. Oh, the reason is he's got, yeah, I just spotted that. He's got g4 check. That's what I should have dealt with. I wonder how long that's been there. Let's back up a second. Ever since I took, he could have played g4 right there. Yeah, not good. Not good. Okay, so do I have something? I can move the knight and attack his bishop. Let's go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, he can take my bishop. He can take my bishop because it hits the queen. Oh, I can take his bishop with check. Ah, so maybe I have escaped out of this. Well, that would be a lucky escape, and somewhat undeserved, because I think if he had played g4 a moment earlier, I just kind of walked into that tactic. I set it up myself by playing f5. Didn't recognize the danger of 2 pieces on the 5th row, but whenever you have 2 pieces on the 5th row or the 4th row if you're the other side, that's something to watch out for, those pawn forks. Okay, so I think I need to move this knight with tempo. I could go here with check and then take the dark squared bishop. If I take here, check, and he moves the king, and then I take the bishop, then he takes my bishop, I take back, and then he takes the knight. That's not so good. So I need to just take this bishop with check. And then I need to move my bishop. It's too bad I can't play it to one of these squares. Maybe I can play it here. Yeah, maybe I can. It's hitting the rook and it's hitting the pawn, and well, queen and bishop together, coordinating on that pawn ought to be worth something. The rook has to move, and it can't go to defend that pawn. It can give up the exchange here. A narrow escape. That's still okay because my rook is defended by the knight. So rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, knight takes, and my queen is still defending the bishop. We'll get into a position with opposite colored bishops, which, oh, he's got that. That's a nice tactic. But does it work? No, it doesn't work. He resigned. Okay. Yeah, it looked good at first, but I can just take it. Okay, well, interesting game. I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.